Forgotten Heroes, Untold Stories of Medal of Honor Recipients. Every Monday, Medal of Honor Monday, features a specific person and their extraordinary deeds of bravery. Many people might not be aware, though, that a number of anonymous combatants from the 20th century also won the Medal of Honor in remembrance of all the men who died in battle but whose identities were never revealed. Welcome to the History Hub, subscribe and let's dive in. 9 unidentified military soldiers' remains received the Medal of Honor. These include the 5 unnamed World War I recipients from Great Britain, France, Belgium, Italy, and Romania, as well as the 4 unidentified American service members who were later interred at the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier, and its 3 crypts at Arlington National Cemetery in Virginia. Each medal binds the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier irrevocably. The building of the tomb in 1921 was commemorated with significant activities and special initiatives last year. According to the law allowing the burial, one unnamed American serviceman who died in World War I was chosen at random in October 1921 to symbolize the soul of America and the supreme sacrifice of her heroic dead. A ceremony was held on November 11, 1921, at the ANC's brand new Memorial Amphitheater to bury this serviceman in a freshly constructed, makeshift tomb. During the funeral service, President Warren G. Harding presented the Medal of Honor to the coffin. The Belgian Croix de Guerre, the French Croix de Guerre and Médaille Militaire, the British Victoria Cross, and the Italian Gold Medal for Bravery were among the foreign honors given to the unknown soldier during the ceremony. Poland, Czechoslovakia, and Romania also gave out their highest awards for bravery in battle. It took until 1932 for the permanent tomb to be finished. Later, when unnamed service personnel were chosen to honor the victims of World War II, the Korean War, and the Vietnam War, the other 3 American Medals of Honor were awarded. Due to the proximity of the 2 wars, World War II, and the Korean conflict, a joint funeral service was performed for the 2 on May 30, 1958. At the event, President Dwight D. Eisenhower awarded a Medal of Honor to each unknown soldier. One set of recovered American remains from the Vietnam War was chosen in 1984 to stand in for the fallen soldiers from that conflict at the tomb. On May 28, 1984, a ceremony was held to bury the Vietnam War veteran known only as the Unknown Soldier. The casket received the Medal of Honor from President Ronald Reagan. The Defense Department positively identified the remains of the Vietnam War unknown soldier as those of U.S. Air Force First Lieutenant Michael J. Blassie in 1998, thanks to advancements in DNA research. Blassie was reinterred in Jefferson Barracks National Cemetery in Missouri at his family's request. Nonetheless, the vacant tomb in Arlington still pays tribute to all Vietnam War service members who. A significant part of these burials has also been played by living Medal of Honor recipients. According to ANC historian Tim Frank, each unknown's funeral involved unique duties played by the receivers. For instance, during the dual 1958 ceremony, Army Master Sergeant Ernest Kuma, a Korean War Medal of Honor recipient, gave Eisenhower a folded flag. Former Army SFC. The flag that covered the coffin of the Korean unknown was delivered to Vice President Richard M. Nixon by Ronald Rosser, another Korean War veteran. Alan Kellogg Jr., a Marine Corps Sergeant Major who received the Medal of Honor for his actions in Vietnam, was chosen to name the remains that would later be awarded to the Vietnam unknown. The 5 foreign World War I awardees who are interred abroad represent the unidentified dead of their countries, but it's crucial to stress that none of them were American servicemen or women. They were Allied soldiers from France, Belgium, Italy, Romania, and Great Britain, to whom ambassadors on behalf of the United States presented the Medal of Honor. In London's Westminster Abbey, the Medal of Honor awarded to the British unknown warrior is on display. Frank claimed that the service member's coffin contains a copy of the medal for the Belgian unknown. Unknown is whether the other 3 medals are on display or buried with their corresponding unknowns. The medal has never been given to a foreign service member who served in an unnamed conflict. The U.S. unknowns from the conflicts after World War I have received several of other nations' highest military awards for valor over the years. The Taeguk Medal, the country's highest military honor for bravery, was presented to the Korean War unknown in March 1960 by dignitaries from South Korea. In 2014, President François Hollande of France presented the World War II unknown with the Legion of Honor, and Belgium likewise awarded the Croix de Guerre to those who had served in World War II and the Korean War. The Army's 3rd Infantry Regiment, also known as the Old Guard, which guards the tomb, does not have custody of the medals given to the 4 U.S. unknown service members. Instead, Arlington National Cemetery's History Office has responsibility for them. The public can view the medals in the Memorial Amphitheater's display room exhibit, which is next to the tomb. They receive basic conservation treatment and are stored under low-light conditions. The purpose of these exhibits is to increase public knowledge of the significance of the tomb and its history, and the display room show spends a significant amount of time discussing the Medal of Honor. Historians predicted that there will never be another unidentified soldier interred in the tomb again because of technological advancements. The 9 Medal of Honor recipients are most likely the final unknowns to hold this honor. Thomas Eugene "Gene" Atkins. A few notable people of the war. PFC Atkins bravely defended a position on a high hill outside the 1st Platoon's perimeter defense on the Villa Verde Trail in Luzon, Philippine Islands. He stood his ground and retaliated with a barrage of fire despite the discomfort from his deep wound and the overwhelming hostile fire. He remained in his dangerous position to fend off any further attacks after the initial onslaught was thwarted. 13 enemy bodies were in front of his position at 7 a.m. He had shot 400 rounds and used 3 weapons until they were all jammed. He left during a lull to get a rifle and additional ammunition, but was eventually convinced to stay for medical attention. Kenneth Dillon Bailey. During the Japanese attack on Henderson Field, Guadalcanal, Solomon Islands, September 12 to 13, 1942, Major Bailey was the commanding officer of Company C, 1st Marine Raider Battalion. He blocked the enemy's attempt to get through a hole in the main line and covered the main line's forced withdrawal by using every weapon at his disposal. He led his forces in hard hand-to-hand combat for 10 hours after stopping the retreat, regrouping the troops, and extending the reversal position to the left. His extraordinary bravery as an individual and his unyielding fighting spirit spurred his troops to incredible feats of courage, allowing them to defeat the enemy and hold Henderson Field. He bravely gave his life in defense of his nation. Thomas Alexander Baker Jr. For his bravery and audacity on Saipan, Mariana Islands, from June 19 to July 7, 1944, Sergeant Baker received an award. He voluntarily picked up a bazooka and sprinted by himself to within 100 yards of the opposition before taking out the strongpoint. Later, he encountered 2 fiercely protected enemy pockets and wiped them out. On July 7, 1944, 3,000 to 5,000 Japanese soldiers attacked his perimeter from 3 directions. Despite running out of ammunition, Sergeant Baker insisted on staying in the line and continuing to shoot at the opposition. He was placed in a sitting position next to a tree because he insisted on not being moved any further. He was facing the enemy with a revolver in his hand when he was last seen alive. His actions were in line with the greatest ideals of the American Army. Vernon Joseph Baker. On April 5 and 6, 1945, 1st Lieutenant Vernon J. Baker distinguished himself with remarkable bravery in battle. He killed 2 enemy soldiers in a machine gun nest and 2 occupants of an observation post, as he marched towards Castle Aganolfi at the head of his weapons unit. Lieutenant Baker embodied the greatest ideals of military service and inspired his soldiers with his courageous leadership and fighting spirit. A German soldier emerged from the draw and threw a grenade when Company C Commander Captain John F. Runyon approached the group. After killing the opposing soldier twice, Lieutenant Baker entered the draw by himself and killed 2 more Germans. Captain Runyon gave the order for a withdrawal in 2 groups after the anticipated reinforcements did not show up. Lieutenant Baker led a battalion through enemy minefields under intense fire as they destroyed 2 machine gun positions with hand grenades. These are men of honor and deserve the highest honor. Thank you for watching. Follow for more.